Hi, Assalamualaikum Doctor. So our group will present about resource depletion. So this is my team members. So me myself, Nurfizana Huda binti Hamali, will start this presentation and introduce about resource depletion. Okay, so the first slide is about introduction, and I'm going to tell about the definition of resource depletion. So the definition is exhaustion of natural resources due to overuse and unsustainable activities, and it occurs when consumption exceeds natural replenishment. So the next slide is about types of natural sources. So there are two types of natural sources. So the first one is non-renewable sources, and the second one is renewable sources. So about renewable sources, it can replenish naturally over time, still vulnerable to depletion if mismanaged. So for example, deforestation, water scarcity. And the example of renewable sources is such as sunlight, wind, water, and forest. So for non-renewable sources, form over millions of years and once depleted cannot be replenished within a human lifetime. So for example of non-renewable sources, such as for example, for non-renewable sources is such as fossil fuel, which is have coal oil, natural gas, and minerals and metals. Okay, these are the causes of resource depletion. So the first one is increasing global demand for energy and industrial production. The next one is overconsumption and rising consumerism. And the last one is unsustainable extraction and exploitation of resources. So there are two types of impacts that we talk about in our assignments. So the first one is climate change. The second one is urbanization. So under climate change, we talk about the productivity of ecosystem and forests. The second one is water quality and hydrological stress. And the last one is about fisheries and soils. And under urbanization, we are going to talk air pollution and loss of green spaces.
Hello, I'm Didi Nakia. I will be presenting about the impacts of climate change on renewable resources in Malaysia. Climate change is one of the most urgent global issues, and although renewable resources are considered sustainable, they are actually very sensitive to changes in temperature, rainfall, and extreme weather. This makes Malaysia especially vulnerable because we rely heavily on clean water, tropical forests, and marine resources. In Malaysia, climate change speeds up resource depletion in three major ways. First, through water stress and declining water quality. Second, by reducing forest and ecosystem productivity. And third, by affecting fisheries and agricultural soils. I will briefly explain each of these impacts. Ecosystem and forests. Malaysia's forests are important because they provide timber, biodiversity, and regulate our watersheds. However, climate change is weakening their stability. Higher temperatures, unpredictable rainfall, and more frequent forest fires reduce the forest's ability to recover. For instance, between 2001 and 2002, Malaysia lost about 8.9 million hectares of tree cover, with climate-related fires being a major contributor. Long dry seasons also reduce regeneration and increase the fire risk, which affecting the overall health of our forest ecosystem. Next is water. Climate change disrupts Malaysia's hydrological cycle. Rising temperatures and inconsistent rainfall lead to more droughts and floods. For example, the Kelantan River Basin has experienced lower river discharge, which impacts irrigation, communities, and aquatic life. Extreme rainfall worsened water quality by increasing sedimentation and pollution, putting pressure on water treatment plants and raising operational costs. Overall, Malaysia's water security is becoming more strained. Fisheries and soil degradation. Climate change also affects our fisheries. Warmer seas and ocean acidification damage coral reef, which serve as habitats for many fish species. More than half of Malaysia's marine park reef have experienced coral bleaching. Heat waves like in Area, Penang, Port Dickson, and Malacca have also impacted shellfish farming and food safety. As ocean temperature rise, fish migrate to cooler water, leading to fewer catches and smaller fish size. In addition, on land, our soils, especially in agricultural areas, are also under stress. In northern peninsular Malaysia, unpredictable rainfall in Kedah and Perlis has led to drying paddy fields and lower rice yields. This is a major concern because it directly threatens Malaysia's rice supply and overall food security.
Assalamualaikum, my name is AS2534B1 and in my slide, I will be talking about the environmental impacts of urbanization which focus on air pollution and loss of green spaces. So, what is urbanization? Urbanization refers to the expansion of cities driven by economic growth and industrialization. As cities grow, we see changes in human behavior, labor division, and specialization. While urbanization has improved living standards, advanced technology, and strengthened economic growth, rapid and unplanned development has also created significant challenges. These include pollution, the depletion of natural resources, and the reduction of vital green spaces. To ensure healthy and livable cities, it is important for us to understand these impacts and promote ethical and sustainable urban planning. Let me begin with air pollution. Some of the main pollutants that threaten human health include particulate matter, carbon monoxide, ozone, nitrogen dioxide, and sulfur dioxide. In Malaysia, transportation is one of the biggest contributors to air pollution, especially in cities where many older vehicles are still on the road and emission standards are not strictly enforced. These pollutants stay in the air, affecting public health and increasing environmental stress in the urban areas. Malaysia once faced a severe air pollution crisis in 2005, when the Air Pollution Index (API) exceeded 500, leading to a state of emergency. Although improvements have been made since then, rising vehicle numbers continue to push carbon monoxide and PM10 levels higher. In 2022 alone, motorcycle registration has increased by 4.5%, car registration by nearly 4%, and van registration about 2%. This shows that without stronger emission control, better public transport, and support for electric vehicles, and air quality will continue to decline. Next, I will discuss about the loss of green spaces. Green spaces act as the lung of a city, filtering air pollutants, releasing oxygens, and cooling the environment. However, rapid urban development has led to the destruction of natural vegetation and forest reserves. Kuala Lumpur's green cover, for example, dropped dramatically from 70% in the 1980s to below 30% by 2020. Significant deforestation has also been recorded in areas such as Hulu Langat, Ampang, and Gombak. The loss of this green space contributes to more flooding, habitat destruction, and worsening the effects of climate changes.
Next, I will explain how Malaysia is addressing environmental challenges through sustainable construction, non-revenue water reduction, and waste-to-energy initiative. Human activities such as industrialization, urbanization, and the burning of fossil fuels have increased energy consumption, pollution, and carbon emission. These changes cause environmental degradation and negatively affect human health. To overcome these issues, adopting sustainable construction practices have become essential. Sustainable construction uses green and durable materials that are recyclable and reusable. These materials help reduce dependence on non-renewable resources and support long-term environmental protection. In Malaysia, commonly used green material including durable concrete, lightweight reinforced concrete, and wooden floor. Malaysia is also actively promoting green technology to balance economic growth. Through national strategies, the country encourages eco-friendly practices, reduce fossil fuels dependence, and minimize solid waste generation. By using recyclable material and eco-friendly infrastructure, Malaysia can reduce carbon footprint while still supporting economic development. Next, reducing non-revenue water, especially on university campuses, plays an important role in improving water resource management.
and RW reduction helps conserve water, lower energy and operational costs, and reduce the need for water abstraction from a natural resource. It also minimizes contamination risk by preventing leaks, ensuring a cleaner and more reliable drinking water supply. As Malaysia's commercial activities expand, waste generation has also increased. To address this, the country is advancing the waste-to-energy system as part of integrated waste management approach. WTE converts non-recyclable waste into usable energy, reduce landfill use, and promote resource efficiency as important element of the circular economy. Technologies such as incineration, anaerobic digestion, and gasification make this process more efficient. Key national initiatives include the Kayu Madang Landfill Project, which processes over 800 tons of daily and divert into 90% from landfill, and the Bukit Taka Enviro Park, which generates over 12 megawatts of electricity annually. Under this energy transition roadmap, WTE plans are planned for every state by 2035, including the 20 megawatt smart WTE plant in Port Dickson that processes over 800 tons of waste per day. Overall, Malaysian effort in green construction and RW reduction and waste-to-energy system demonstrate a strong national commitment to resource conservation, pollution reduction, and sustainable development.
So this is the importance of sustainability. So the first one is need to balance resource consumption with conservation. The second one is ensures availability of present and future generations. And the third one is supports long-term environmental and societal stability. So this is about argumentation of each point. So the first point is the climate change, where the main point of argumentation is the forest loss, the reduced regeneration, and the high fire risk. The second point is the water stress, which is the main argumentation is about such as poor water quality. And the third one is urbanization, where the increase of air pollution from rising vehicle numbers. And then lastly is about loss of green spaces, which is mainly about heat, flooding, and habitat decline. So that's it about our presentation, and we have come to the end. Thank you, Doctor, for listening to our video.